Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today we are going to talk about inside English. What exactly is inside English? Obviously it's the opposite of outside English, but first, for those of you beginner and intermediate players, let me just make clear what we're talking about when we talk about English. When we talk about English, we're talking about spin on the cue ball, and we're talking about left and right spin. A lot of beginner and intermediate players will often refer to draw or even follow as being English. That is not English. When we talk about English or cue ball spin, we are talking about left and right spin on the cue ball, spinning the cue ball clockwise or counterclockwise. There are times that it goes hand in hand with low or follow, but it is not English when we apply draw or top on a cue ball. So you guys really should understand that concept, because very often I'll hear amateur players refer to English when we talk about draw shots. So what is inside English? Before you understand inside English, I want to give you a crash course on what outside English is, because outside is what is used most of the time, to the point that a lot of advanced players will use outside English for cut shots without even thinking about it, almost automatically. As an example, on a shot like this, where the 10 ball is going in that direction, outside English will be this side of the cue ball. One way to understand the difference between inside English and outside English is outside English is the side of the cue ball. So we're striking the cue ball in this situation on the left hand, my left-hand side, outside being the furthest away from the 10 ball. Inside English would be the side that is closest to the 10 ball. Outside English is the type of English that is used most of the time, and outside English is also the easiest type of English to use because it is natural. It actually assists you in making that object ball. On a shot like this, most high-ranked players are going to put outside English on it unless there is certain types of position to be gained by doing something else with the cue ball. And the reason you use outside English is numerous. One, to get position on a specific shot. For example, if I had to make the 10 ball and get down here on the 12 ball for some reason, I would come off of 2 rails here and come down table after making this shot, because it would naturally, the outside English, which is in this example left English, would cause the cue ball to spin in a clockwise manner, which would take it around the table a lot easier to get on this 12 ball. Inside English cuts off that angle and reduces the amount of spin when it's coming from this direction. We're going to look at examples where inside English actually helps you get around the table. But in this particular example, it's outside English that causes you to get around the table easier. The other advantage of outside English is that it reduces what is called cut-induced throw. Now, I don't want to get into the science of cut-induced throw. In fact, most people that watch this channel and love this channel and think this is the greatest channel in the world like it because we make things simple. So I'm not going to give you a science class today about cut-induced throw, but just understand that in a cut shot like this, the easiest way to get it to that pocket and do it accurately is to aim for your ghost ball spot with a little bit of outside English. So very often you'll find advanced players sometimes subconsciously use outside English to make that ball in the corner pocket. So let's just examine outside English before we talk about inside English. So you'll see the 2 examples that I'm talking about. 1, where we're aided in making this ball, and 2, where we get down table and get position on this 12 by coming off of this rail, and this rail. So the shot looks like this. Outside English, left-hand English. I'll put a little bit of top on this. And you see the cue ball very easily comes around the table and we get position on the 12 ball here. Now, as much as outside English helps you make a cut shot, inside English makes it more difficult to make the cut shot. And that's why this video is important. Even those of you intermediate players that are using outside English to assist in your cut shots probably have some kind of difficulty. Some players a little difficulty, some a lot of difficulty when it comes to inside English. So I want you to understand how inside English works, how it affects the object ball, how it affects the cue ball, and the times that is going to help you actually make the shot instead of making it more difficult. In most cases, it will make the shot more difficult, but there are cases where it will make it easier for you to make the shot. One last thing, I'm going to give you 5 examples of times you can use inside English to make your life easier at the pool table and allow you to do things that you would not be able to pull off without the English. But understand that there are dozens and dozens of situations where you will use inside English. But the shots that I give you today are designed to help you spark your creativity and your strategies when you're looking for situations to get around table. So we obviously can't cover all of the situations that you're going to use inside English, but we're going to cover a few that will allow you to have an encyclopedia of possible outcomes for a few different situations that will lead you to understand other situations. So let's get started. The first shot we're going to look at, guys, is using that inside English to assist us in making a shot. What do I mean by assist? Same way the outside English assisted us in making the 10 ball in the corner pocket, the inside English is going to assist us in making a rail shot. If you saw my video on rail shots, you know this shot already. What we're going to do is apply right hand, which will be inside English, closest to the ball, closest to the pocket, to this shot. And by applying that spin, what we're doing is assisting that 7 ball in staying close to the rail. If we were to hit it on this side, the outside, what we'll be doing is pushing that 7 ball in this direction and away from the rail. So because we're aiming for the ball and the cushion at the same time, and in effect, just in front of the ball on this shot, we're going to be using right hand spin, spinning this ball counterclockwise to assist in making the 7. A lot of you are going to learn this shot and you're going to use it all the time when position doesn't matter. But in order to master this shot, particularly from a distance like this, you have to have it down from here. You have to have it down from even closer, with maybe the 7 ball even closer to the pocket. Just like everything I teach you, the way to learn the shot is through progression. Don't start here and try to make the shot. If you haven't been using inside English to make your rail shots, this is not the best example. This is the best example. Maybe even here. But you're going to be applying, depending on your stroke, your cue, your speed, a lot of different things, you're going to be applying somewhere between 1/2 a tip and maybe as much as 2 tips of English, depending on your cue and your experience, in order to make this shot. I'm not going to show you necessarily exactly where I hit the cue ball because it's going to be different for me than it is for you. Just understand that I am to the right-hand side of the center of the ball, and I am also applying a little bit of follow. So I'll show you in the corner the general area where I'm hitting the cue ball, but you need to make the shot your own as far as just how much spin. So the shot looks like this. I want you to notice the angle the cue ball takes after hitting this shot. And I also want you to realize we're not playing position on this particular shot. I'm going to shoot it twice for you. I'm going to shoot it once where English is not a concern, and I'm going to shoot it once where we're trying to get position on this 8 ball down here. So the first shot, again, inside English, I'm putting a little bit of top and a little bit of right to it, and I'm just making the ball, not worrying about position. So you want to get down on the shot, high right hand English, keeps the 7 ball on the rail, and we come out to a location on the table that is greater as far as angle goes than if we had shot that without any cue ball spin. So let's set it back up. And this time, we're going to have a more difficult shot because I think we're a little further from the pocket. Also, we're going to be getting down table for this 8-ball. So how do we shoot it this time? We're going to shoot it exactly the same way, except we wanted to come off of this rail, and this rail to come down here. So what you're learning with this shot is 2 uses of the inside spin. Number 1, to help you make the shot. And number 2, to add running English to allow you to get down table for a ball to go in the pocket, or get in position for a ball to go into a pocket. So let's shoot the shot again, this time trying to get down table to get position on the 8. So what's the difference between shot 1 and shot 2? The difference is speed. That's the only difference. But adding speed to that shot makes it more difficult, just like every other shot. If you're going to hit the ball hard, for whatever reason, you're a banger or you're trying to get position, it's going to make the shot more difficult. So keep that in mind, and that's one situation where it's easier to make the shot using inside English. The other shots I'm going to give you today are most likely going to make the shot that you take more difficult to put the ball in the pocket, but you're going to use the English in order to get position. So let's set up a couple more. This shot is one of my favorite uses of inside English. Here I have a situation where I'm on the 7 and I need to get on the 8. Now, one of the things that we could do, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. Some of you guys are too young to even have ever heard of that, that expression. But one of the ways that we could get on this 8-ball would be to use outside English and to come spinning off of that rail and this rail and get over here. But one way to not have to go around the table would be to use inside English. So what's happening on this shot? We're hitting the cue ball on this side, inside, the side closest to the pocket, closest to the object ball. We're going to hit it firmly. So we're going to make sure that we get that spin on that cue ball. When the 7 ball is potted in this corner pocket, it is going to take the cue ball off of this rail, and instead of going this direction, which is where nature wants to send it, instead of going in this direction, we're going to bring it off this rail and kind of reverse it so that we have decent position on the 8-ball. So the shot looks like this. Notice the direction the cue ball went. That is a very common use of inside English. You are going to use that shot very frequently once you have the English down. You are going to need the same thing you need with a draw shot and a follow shot and a force follow shot. You're going to need to apply good follow through on that shot, because if that cue ball is not spinning when it arrives, and it's not spinning in an exaggerated manner, when it hits this rail, it's just going to stall. What you want to do is high right, in this case, will take you off that rail and get you positioned on the 8. So here we have a very powerful use of inside English. What we're doing here is we're playing, the game could be 8-ball or a 9-ball. We're playing the 7 in the side pocket. We want to play the 8-ball. We want to play the 8-ball in that corner pocket. Anywhere else, we're going to have to bank it or do something magical here and have it fly over the 9 and land in this pocket. And I hate that shot because it is very difficult. So what we're looking to do is play the 7 here, have the cue ball come off of this rail and take a hard, from my vantage point, hard right-hand turn to get us on that 8-ball. The reason for the draw is so that we don't scratch in that corner pocket. The angle that we have naturally takes the cue ball towards that corner pocket. The reason for the right-hand spin, the inside English, is so that we come off of this rail and turn this way as we come back so that we can get on the 8. You are not going to have this exact configuration come up in a game, probably in years. But understanding this shot is going to give you an opportunity to get position in a lot of other situations that might not be exactly like this. So, low, right hand English, drawing the cue ball back a little bit because we're going to come off this rail with so much right hand spin that we don't want to collide with the 8. We want to come all the way over here and then get back all the way over here. So the shot looks like this. And we're perfect on the 8, and if we're playing 9 ball, we're going to be perfect on the 9 as well. That's a great shot, guys. That shot will win you a lot of different situations and a lot of different games. And let's play them out. For you 9 ball players. Okay, gang, so here we have a situation. Situation is we have a ball on the short rail and another ball on the short rail. Unfortunately, if I gave this layout to most novice players, APA 4s, APA 3s, you guys still wouldn't get on the 8, even with ball in hand. And that's fine. That's the situation with a lot of players. But now, you don't even have a choice about it. You have the cue ball at a particular angle. If I play this without any spin to get down table, which is what a lot of players will do because they just want to put the balls in the pocket. And if you watch my videos, what do I say? Your goal is not to make that 7 ball. Your goal is to make all of the balls. So making that 7 in the pocket and ending up over here or worse in here is not your mission. You need to make all the balls. So novice player shoots this ball, just wants to make the 7 ball, and they end up with this. This is not position on the 8. So how do we defeat that? How do we get position? What we want to do, if I said you're going to be playing the 8 ball, where would you like to have it? A lot of you would put it here. I'd put it here. I always want to have an angle. But this is the zone you're trying to get in. How do you get there? You put right hand spin. I almost always naturally will shoot this with high right hand spin, not just right hand spin. If it's easier for you to just put right hand spin on it, knock yourself out. Most advanced players are using high or low on just about every shot. It is very rare to hit the cue ball just with side and send it around table. So high right hand spin on this shot to come around table. You can get in this zone, or as you get better, you'll know if the cue ball is coming off of this rail or this rail. But keep in mind that in a situation like this, I'm headed right for this pocket. So I don't want to hit it in a fashion that is going to end up making me scratch or getting behind this 9 ball. So for most of you, I suggest you play zone. As you've shot thousands of these, you'll know exactly where the cue ball is going to go, and you can get a more aggressive position on the 8 ball. So high right hand English, shot looks like this. I know that I'm going to come here and I will be good on the 8. I can tap in the 8, and that 9 ball you could probably make from anywhere on the table, but this is a good spot to be. High right hand English, inside English takes us around the table. Again, until you know, you're confident where that cue ball is going to go, try to hold it up here. Work on the speed. If you notice how soft I hit it, that's key. The ball is being assisted around the table. Don't hammer these shots, guys, or you'll end up scratching, or even doing something like coming off of that rail and hitting this rail down here and bouncing back out and no longer having position on the 8. Slow, soft, accurate shots. That's what you're going for in most of these situations. Let's look at the next one. Gang, most of the shots that we've looked at so far have had some type of running English. Running English is anytime the cue ball is spinning in the direction that we want it to go around the table. So if we're over here and we want the cue ball to go off of those rails, running English would be on the right-hand side so that the cue ball is spinning in that direction, the way it naturally wants to go. Reverse English is when the cue ball is spinning opposite the direction it wants to go. So if we came off of 3 rails and instead of having running English, we had the opposite English, you can see that the cue ball does not go around the table naturally. It just cuts itself off. So there's going to be situations where you will be able to utilize the inside English to effectively make that shot where you're cutting off and changing the angle by putting the reverse English on it. The only way to get you there is to have you shoot a lot of them. Experiment with it so that you understand what's going to happen to that cue ball with the running English and with the reverse English and no English at all. But we also have a number of situations where we don't want it going around the table at all. We want to stall the cue ball up against the rail so that it doesn't go very far. Now, one of the ways to do that is with reverse English, which in this situation is going to be, what's the video about? Inside English. So here I'm playing the 7, I need to get on the 8. The cue ball is taking me in this direction. I can shoot a touch shot, which by the way is in my list of least favorite shots. I can shoot a touch shot and try to hold the cue ball up here, but if I want to let my stroke out, I can use inside English and stall the cue ball closer to the rail. As hard as I hit that, notice I did not move out of the line of my shot. So even that 9 is blocking us if we got here, which is what would happen if we didn't put the reverse English on it. I'm still at a situation here where I can make the 8 without any problem at all. So make sure you have it in your game to use reverse English to stall the cue ball when it's coming off of a rail. So gang, out of all the shots I showed you today, this is going to be the one that is probably the best for you to work out with initially for a couple reasons. One, you will get to let your stroke out. 2, there's little danger of scratching with this shot. And 3, it will open up an entire world of position play for a lot of you that you just didn't have before. I ask an APA 3, how do you get out from here? You're playing the 7 to get to the 8. He's going to shoot the 7 ball in the pocket. Cue ball is going to come down here. It's probably going to be straight over here somehow. If he puts some spin on it, different things will happen. God knows what he'll put on it. But it's not his fault. You don't run into these shots, or these solutions, I should say, in most lower ranked matches. The APA 7 is doing this constantly, but you don't realize it. A lot of times guys look lucky, and they look lucky because they get position that you wouldn't have gotten, and you don't understand how they got there, so it must have been some higher force called luck. But this is a situation where just getting this simple inside English shot, coming off of this rail with reverse English and coming off of this rail will change your life as an APA 3 or even as an APA 4. I can tell you with great confidence there's guys that have been 4s for a long time that don't have this shot. So it's easiest, but you need to practice it. Inside English, that's right-hand English. We're coming off of this ball, we're coming off of this rail, and you know what? You get to really put some oomph into it because you're going to make the shot. It's an easy shot, and you want to get all the way down table with that reverse English on it, which means we really have to have a good stroke on this. And here we are, perfect position on the 8 ball. The only danger is if you want to shoot it as firmly and as fast as I did, and you don't understand the angles. Like, I know it's coming here, but if you don't understand those angles yet, be more conservative, just like our previous shot where we talked about coming into the zone. But that one is a good one because you have to put the follow through on it. You have to put some oomph into it. And when you have that, again, it opens up a whole world for you as far as position goes, but you also have a lot of space where you can be wrong and still be out on the shot. So in closing, guys, none of your situations are going to be identical to what we mapped out on the table. But if you understand getting around the table, making that 7 ball that we started out with and coming off of 3 rails, if you understand going off of 2 rails and coming down here to get position on the shot, if you understand how to stall the cue ball by putting reverse English on it, all of those things add up to literally tens of thousands of different configurations that are going to help you. So look at each one of those shots individually and master each one of them. You can use the exact layouts I did, and when the other configurations show up in your match, you'll be able to draw back on that knowledge and identify them. So don't forget to subscribe. I know who you are that's watching all my videos and not subscribing. Don't make me come looking for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. So subscribe, make sure you hit the like button, hit me in the comments, let me know what you thought of the video, and have a great day, guys.